This is the AFE dashboard. At the top of the dashboard, we see information to identify our organization and some high-level summary information about the total number of AFEs that we have open and the total budget, total expenditure. The first tab shows a list of open AFEs. We have a tab to show AFEs that have been closed. Here's AFEs that are pending approval. And then here's some AFEs that bear watching because they have exceeded the tolerance percentage. So on the open AFEs, we can look across and see that we have an AFE budget, which is the total budget for this AFE, and the inception to date actual expenditure against that AFE. We also show the current year budget and the year-to-date actual expenditures for that current year, and then our year-to-date budget, which is a prorated number based on the yearly budget. We forecast taking the year-to-date actual expenditures and forecasting that for the rest of the year, and then we also have the commitments that we pick up from Oracle applications. So calculating a balance, what's remaining to spend on this AFE, and our utilization percentage. So we can drill down, we can pick an AFE and drill down and look at the details. First of all, I'll show this one. We can look at the amendment history, so we can see that this AFE was created originally on the 23rd of April. It had a budget of $1 million for 3D seismic, and then it was amended on the 23rd of April, the same day, and the budget changed back to $100,000. We can drill down and look at the details of what's been expended against the AFE. So here we can see we have AFE budget on these three accounts, but only one account has postings against it. So we see the inception to date actual against that budget line. And we can drill down and look at, well, what made up that expenditure. So we had some invoices from accounts payable that were booked against it, and we can trace that back and look at the AP details. So here's our accounts payable invoice, and clicking on that we can see the details of what was processed in accounts payable. As well, we can see anything that came in through manual journal entries into general ledger, and we can also do the same thing and link back and look at, here's the journal entry that made up that line. So looking at the details on each of those entries. We can also, on this tab, we can see all of the transactions in one place that were recorded against this AFE. So if we wanted to do that, and then we can take those transactions on any of these tabs, we can take it to Excel just by clicking the tab and then opening it up in Excel. If we look at the closed AFEs, which is the capital expenditures, we can drill down. We can see these are in hard close status. Here's the AFE budget, and here's the actual expenditures against it. And we can drill down and now look at the same information if we wanted to go down and look at the same information from payables or from general ledger. But we can also look at, here's the details around closing this AFE. Here's our net cost against the AFE. This is what we should be booking to the asset. So we've got the disposition to capitalize it, the fixed assets book, the date it was placed in service, and all of the coding that we need in order to create that fixed asset. This is our net cost. And if we want to reverse all of the transactions that made it up as we capitalize it, then we have the complete list of all of the transactions recorded against that AFE. The AFEs pending approval shows us the AFEs that have been created, who created them, when they were created, what's the type of AFE, and these are pending approval from the appropriate authority. And then AFEs that have been overspent. So looking at this tolerance percentage and comparing the inception to date expenditures against the AFE budget. And so those are AFEs that are overspent. We also have an AFE dashboard that gives us more of a graphical view of our AFEs, so looking at AFEs and budget versus actual expenditures. How these AFEs have spent in terms of percent of budget, so we're looking at the budget on the left and the percentage on the right. And here's the actual versus budget in a different format. And then we can look at different status AFEs. These ones are closed, these are in soft close, these are in open, and see how many AFEs. So the count is on the left and the actual AFE amounts are on the right. And then the same thing, AFEs by type. So that's the AFE dashboard.